$500,000 in the Philadelphia suburbs is the ultimate fork in the road price point. In one town, that budget buys you a 4-bedroom single-family home on an acre of land. 45 minutes away, that same money barely gets you a 2-bedroom townhouse with a high HOA fee. If you're moving here, you need to know which exit to take before you start booking showings. I'm Jim Stevenson, a realtor here in the Philadelphia suburbs, and if you're trying to maximize your budget, here's exactly what $500,000 buys you right now across 4 counties. I pulled recent sales between about $475 and $515 because in the real world, that's basically a $500,000 budget. But what you get for that money changes dramatically depending on which fork you take. So let's start with the first fork, Bucks County. In Newtown, $494,000 just bought a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse from 1978. That's 1,986 square feet. Council Rock schools, taxes are $5,041 a year, about $420 a month. And there's an HOA fee of $205 per month on top of that. So you're at $625 a month in taxes and HOA before you even touch your mortgage payment. A $500,000 home in Newtown also closed recently. It was a detached house, but it was only about 938 square feet, built in 1909, with taxes of $1,958 a year. You'd think more money means more house. Doesn't always work out that way. Here's the reality. If you're putting 10% down, you're looking at around $2,800 a month for the mortgage on that $494,000 townhouse. Add that $625 in taxes and HOA, throw in insurance, and you're pushing $3,600 a month all in. Now drive 45 minutes north to Perkasie. At $475, you're getting a detached single-family colonial, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and nearly 2,000 square feet. Penridge schools. Taxes are $433 a month, no HOA fee. If you want newer in Perkasie, closer to the full budget, $492,500 also got a 2022 end-unit townhome around 2,266 square feet with an HOA of $103 a month. With 10% down, you're adding $433 instead of $625 in monthly carrying costs. Your total monthly is closer to $3,400. You're saving over $200 a month by going to Perkasie. Over a few years, that's real money you could put toward renovations or just keeping it in your pocket. And you're getting more bedrooms and either a detached house or way more square footage. So Bucks is giving you choice. You're probably thinking Newtown's the better deal because it's Council Rock schools and it's closer to everything, and that makes sense. But here's what actually happens. You're paying $625 a month before your mortgage for less space and fewer bedrooms. So who picks Newtown? Moving families from New York or North Jersey who want Council Rock schools and don't mind townhouse living. They're used to tight spaces and higher costs. Who picks Perkasie? Move-up buyers who need 4 bedrooms, want a yard, and aren't willing to pay a premium for a brand-name town. I just worked with a family from Bergen County last month who picked Perkasie over Newtown. They wanted Council Rock but couldn't really justify the extra $200 a month when they needed 4 bedrooms and outdoor space for their kids. They're 3 months in now and haven't second-guessed it once. And Montgomery County flips this math completely. Here's the second fork. In Ambler, $475,000 just closed on a 2-bedroom townhouse from 1996. That's 1,724 square feet. Upper Dublin schools. This is walkable to the train, walkable to restaurants, walkable to everything Ambler's known for. In Lansdale, $480,000 bought a 3-bedroom townhouse from 2019. That's 2,492 square feet. North Penn schools. Newer construction, so you've got modern finishes and more energy efficient systems. There is an HOA fee of $108 a month. So Lansdale gives you almost 800 more square feet, an extra bedroom, and construction that's over 20 years newer for only $5,000 more. You're probably thinking, why would I pick Lansdale over Ambler if Ambler's more walkable? Look, it comes down to how you actually live. Ambler is charging you for location. You're walkable to the train station, you're in a borough that people actively want to live in. Families will pay to be there even if it means less square footage. And look, if you're commuting to Center City 5 days a week, you're probably saving a couple $100 a month in gas, tolls, and parking compared to driving. So that Ambler premium might actually pencil out when you factor in what you're not spending on your commute. And if you push closer to $500,000, staying in Upper Dublin, a 2.5 bath townhome closed at $512. So even with more budget, you're still often in the townhome category when you're paying for location and school district. Lansdale gives you more house and newer construction. The HOA covers lawn care and snow removal. If you're hybrid or fully remote and you're not using that train every day, Lansdale's probably the smarter play. And this is exactly the kind of trade-off I walk buyers through when they're trying to match a county to their actual lifestyle. On the other side of that trade-off, a brand new 2025 townhome with a Lansdale address closed at $499,900 with an HOA of $112 a month. Chester County is where you'll see the biggest range, but only if you're okay with one specific trade-off. In Phoenixville, 475 bought a 2-bedroom row home from 1930 with 1,800 square feet. Phoenixville area schools. Borough taxes are lower relative to surrounding townships, but you're in a 95-year-old house. That means you're dealing with older systems and the kind of updates that come with a house built in 1930. If you want Phoenixville's walkability but not a 1930 row home, a townhome nearby closed at $490 with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and about 2,400 square feet with an HOA of $149 a month. Moving south to Downingtown, $479,000 closed on a 4-bedroom detached house from 1969 with about 2,500 square feet on 1.1 acres of land. Downingtown area schools, and you've got privacy, trees, and room to breathe. Downingtown area has examples right at the budget too. $505,000 bought a detached 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home around 1,680 square feet, built in 1980 with a small HOA of $300 a year. Chester County has the widest range I've seen. You're probably thinking Phoenixville sounds like the lifestyle play and Downingtown sounds like the space play. That's probably right, but most people don't catch this until after they've made an offer. Look, if you're staring at Zillow right now trying to figure out which of these counties makes sense for you, book a call with me using the link in the description. I'll walk you through the math on your actual list of potential towns, or grab my free Philadelphia Suburbs relocation guide using the QR code on screen. Phoenixville Borough is walkable. You're near Bridge Street, you're near the breweries, you're in a town people want to be in. But that row home has 1 bathroom, and if you've got kids, you're all sharing 1 bathroom. And with that 1930 build, you're probably looking at a new roof, updated electrical, and HVAC work at some point. I would budget somewhere in the $30,000 to $50,000 range for those kinds of updates. Downingtown gives you 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and over an acre. If you've got dogs or kids who need space, that's your winner. But you're not walkable to anything. You're driving everywhere. And that 1969 build means you're looking at updates down the road too. The difference is you've got the space to live in the house while you renovate. With a row home, you're working around pretty tight quarters. Now let's finish with the fourth fork, Delaware County, where you're getting top school districts without the mainline prices. In Media, $475,000 bought a 4-bedroom house from 1988 with 2,186 square feet. Rose Tree Media Schools, which are ranked in the top tier of Delaware County. And right around the budget, $499,000 in Media also bought a 3-bedroom home with taxes around $6,000 a year. In Havertown, $489,000 bought a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath twin of 1,248 square feet, built in 1939 with taxes of $6,500 a year. And Haverford Township Schools, which consistently rank in the top 10% statewide. Delaware County is interesting because you're getting access to some of the best school districts in the region without paying Montgomery County prices. You're probably thinking this sounds like the best value. In some ways it is, but here's the reality. That Media house is from 1988. It's in good shape, but you're still looking at 37-year-old systems. The Havertown Twin is from 1939. It's got character, but it also means you're dealing with older electrical and the kind of deferred maintenance that comes with a house built over 80 years ago. And it's 1,200 square feet. If you've got a family, that's pretty tight. Schools are excellent. Rose Tree Media and Haverford Township rank with the best in the region. Families moving from North Jersey will pay a premium just to get their kids in these districts without moving to the main line. And here's the value play most people miss. A comparable house in Lower Merion or Radnor, same age, same size, probably going to run you $650 to $750, maybe more. You're getting similar school quality in Delaware County for a couple $100,000 less. That's why buyers who really know the area end up here. Delaware County gives you the best school access for the money, but you're buying older housing stock, which means you need a renovation budget or you need to be comfortable with work that'll come up in the next 3 to 5 years. All right, let's bring this all together. One budget around $500,000, 4 different forks. And the mistake buyers make is thinking your purchasing power stays consistent across counties. Bucks gives you the choice between location premium and space. Perkasie saves you a couple $100 a month and gives you a detached house. Montgomery County gives you the choice between walkability and size. And if you're commuting to Center City every day, that Ambler train access might actually save you money when you factor in what you're not spending on gas and parking. Chester County has the widest lifestyle range. walkable borough life, or acreage and privacy. Delaware County gives you top school access without mainline prices, but you're buying homes that will probably need work. Here's how to think about this. If you need 4 bedrooms and a yard, look at Bucks or Chester. If you're commuting to the city 5 days a week, Montgomery County near the train makes sense. If schools are your #1 priority and you can handle some renovations, Delaware County. If you want walkability and weekend lifestyle, Phoenixville or Ambler. What $500,000 gets you isn't just about the house, it's about the monthly cost, the school district, and what you're really willing to trade off. And this stuff matters even more as we get further into 2026 because property taxes are starting to move in different directions depending on where you are. Now you know what $500,000 actually buys you across 4 counties, but knowing what you can afford and knowing which town actually fits your family are 2 completely different problems. I just ranked the top 10 suburbs for families in 2026 based on schools, commute, safety, and carrying costs, and the #1 pick isn't what most people expect. Watch this video next because I'll show you exactly how to match your priorities to the right town before you make an offer you regret. Thanks for watching.